In a world of waiver wires and trades, where every Sunday is a battle, one person's decisions can mean the difference between glory and crushing defeat. This is Meet the GM.
Hi there and welcome to episode 8. I got it right this time, lads. I got it wrong earlier on. And this evening we have Liam, one of our new members, to join us. Although we have been in many leagues for quite a while now. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad. It's nice to finally meet you. Like you said, we've been in a couple of leagues together, but never actually met face to face or like this before. So it's really lovely to meet you.
I know. Well, we're probably quite far apart to meet face to face.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. It's a bit of a trek.
So going on that thing, where are you from then?
So I'm originally from Cumbria, West Cumbria to be specific. But nowadays I live in York, so in the wonderful city of York.
Is York the one that's got that crazy roundabout system?
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure. Is that not down south? Is it the 7 one where there's 7 roundabouts in one another?
To go around the city, you have to go. Yeah, I went to play pool down that way one time, but I can't remember where it was.
Yeah, no, York's like a lovely, like gated, walled city. It's really nice to visit. So I've lived.
I've been to both, but I just can't remember. But I was pretty young when we went because we used to go driving all over Britain when I was younger with my parents.
Nice.
It is nice. I remember it being nice, but I just saw some place. It's right on the coast down the bottom. Well, not as far down as London, but further up. And you had to go. The bus was driving us, and it was like ring road after ring road to get into the place. It's worse than Dundee. Yeah. Anyway, well, you don't want to go to Dundee either, to be honest. But sorry for anybody for Dundee. So, what is your OrkneyBowl team name?
So I'm the York City Red Pandas. So
how did it come with that then? So,
well, I live in York, so that's easy.
That's easy.
Red Pandas. I've got a massive fan of Red Pandas. Maybe it's the ginger in me, finding my spirit animal. I don't know, but So I just thought I'd figure something that links to me, and I didn't want to go boring and go Vikings, so I just thought I'd go for the Red Pandas.
So it's a very cool name,
Yeah, it is. I don't suppose there's any other Red Pandas in the league, is there?
No. I'm an Orca, but there's not many. No, I don't think there's any Red Pandas or any pandas actually. Come to think of it, but there's plenty. Although there is a panda.
There's a panda. That's maybe my.
No, it's from America. Rival. Well, he's in a different conference. You'll only meet him in the Rousey Cup, but the US Trash Panda, he's another new one.
Oh,
a few sharks and leopards and all that. But yeah, no other pandas. So, how long have you been following the NFL?
I've been following it for quite a while now, around about 30 years. So it goes back to when you couldn't get a lot of access to NFL, and I think there was only the Monday Night Football was on Channel 5. My dad used to record it on tape, so I am showing my age. So it was all recorded on tape on long play, I think it was, so we could get the full game in. And basically throughout the week, we, me, my brother, and my dad would sit and watch maybe half an hour here, half an hour there, and that's how I got introduced to it. I just really liked. I don't suppose I knew too much that was going on in the gameplay. I just really liked the crowds full of crazy people going wild, the jerseys, it was more like an extreme sport than anything I'd seen prior to that. So that's how I got introduced to it. So about 30 years ago. Quite a long time ago.
It has. Well, I've been in the 80s, even at Channel 4.
Oh yeah. So it was Channel 4. It used to show up quite a bit, didn't they? But then it sort of got totally.
The Channel 5 came along after that, the baseball, then you're getting American football as well. I used to watch the baseball on Channel 5 because I worked in a pub. I would get home quite late, so you're still wired and wide awake, so you end up putting Channel 5 on.
Yeah.
Because you got that in Edinburgh. You don't get it in Orkney back then, but
I guess there was a bit more excitement back then though, because that was the only opportunity you got to watch the game. So you would record it and you would religiously watch it. Whereas now it's amazing you get to see so many games. But I guess maybe the excitement level could dwindle a little bit because you've got so much opportunity to watch it.
Oh no, I'll never dwindle with me. I don't even watch normal football anymore.
No, I don't.
Yeah, doesn't help. My team's pretty crap, but yeah, that's another story. But yeah, I used to get there was a site called Pontel, and then you could pay a subscription, and every week they would send you your team's game on DVD, including the playoffs, which wasn't great when we got hammered. I think it was Carolina. We got like 35-0 or something. So. But then that stopped doing it. But I also used to get a weekly magazine, The First Down.
Oh yeah.
And I would pick it up from the newsagent on a Saturday, but you'd only find it scores for week 4. Back then you didn't really have the internet and stuff like that.
No, you didn't know.
So it was pure potluck how you got on, how you found out the scores and all that stuff. But it was fun. But it's a lot better now, obviously. But I do miss First Down magazine. That was a good magazine.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what team do you root for then?
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough question for me. Sadly, I'm a Dolphins fan, so yeah, it's not really the best time at the moment. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to stay positive this year. I'm going to say like we're rebuilding and we've got some good structural pieces in there and some exciting players for the future. So this draft is an important one for us. Yeah, massively. But yeah, I'm a Fins fan. Never really had a lot to shout out about, to be fair, in my 30 years.
No, not really.
No, I've had the
Ace Ventura. There you go.
I've got him to blame for the reason why I support them, because of the Ace Ventura: Pet Detective film was obviously set with the Miami Dolphins stadium, and Dan Marino was in it, and that was the whole reason why I got onto them, because it was just like an easy pathway in, and I thought that's the team for me. They're on the TV, they're on films, they must be good. I'll have them.
Yeah, they were colourful. Yeah,
yeah, colourful shirts. But yeah. That's how I got into it.
Obviously, this is a good one for you because you've been supporting for a while. But who's your favourite player from your team in the past?
Okay, so I did some research on this, and I didn't realise just how depressing it has been as a Dolphins fan. They've had some obviously great players throughout the years, and probably two that I want to mention, but they're probably not my favourite, would be Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas. Some two defensive elite.
Taylor was awesome. Yeah,
they both were. I mean, Zach Thomas was like one of the top tackle makers every single season. He also used to wear that big, chunky linebackers thing with the extra guard. He was absolutely massive. And Jason Taylor was setting like sack records and always up there at the top. He was phenomenal to watch. But I am I'm an offensive guy. I like watching the offense rather than the defense. So I can't say Dan Marino because I didn't start watching early enough. I've seen the back end of his career, so I can't really say he's my favourite, even though he's a good shout. Ricky Williams is one I loved, but he was a shot. He burned bright, a bit too bright, I think, though, and his career sort of didn't last the test of time, even though he did have glimpses of being amazing. So I'm going to be. So when I was looking at somebody more recent, and I've got to say Tyreek Hill, and it feels like I should be saying someone from a bit further ago. But
he's not in the team anymore.
But he's not on the team anymore, so he's no longer. So he's from the past, and even though he obviously was brilliant with the Chiefs, he had some amazing seasons for us, and he was just a joy to watch. And he made me as a Fins fan be excited again, like him to Waddle, Achan, sort of put them all together. The offense was for a period of time was all singing, all dancing. So for me, I really enjoyed watching that. It was just high octane, fast, like high scoring football, and that's what I kind of want to watch. I appreciate defenses. I appreciate that, but I'd rather see a 40 points to 35 game than a 7-0 or a 13-0 or something. So Tyreek.
Well, that was a good call. Like I say, when he first came over, he was really good, and for a few years, but obviously, injuries the last couple of years haven't really helped him much.
Yeah, injuries and sort of his classic ego getting in the way, like always arguing. Obviously, he came over to us. I think he thought as he got a chance to be in the playoffs every season. As soon as that didn't happen, he starts to complain, and he can't help himself. But like on the field alone, he's incredible, and hopefully he gets another contract this year.
Yeah, so that's true. So this is an even harder question for you. But who's your favourite player on the team?
Currently.
So you've not got that many left. Like.
No, currently, it's a choice of one. One player. Devon Achan, I think he's phenomenal. He's the full package. He does absolutely everything. And
considering they don't break him this year, that's a problem. They've got nothing else to go for.
That's the worry. Because he's a smaller back, and the worry is, giving him the ball one way or another every single play, which is potentially what we're going to have to do, could end up breaking him. And he has had a couple of injuries, but like when he's fit, I mean, he's up there with the top running backs in the league, and he's so dynamic and so exciting to watch that he's got to be Achan. I mean, like you said, I had a pretty easy pick there. I had one option.
I know. So what do you think about Willis then? Obviously, nobody to throw with, but
I like it. I like the addition. I mean, he hasn't played a lot the last 2 years, but when he has played, he's looked solid, and that's a good start. And I think what Willis, his strengths are, he keeps hold of the ball. He doesn't give it away too much, and he can obviously run. He can use his feet to either scrambling or just to keep the players alive. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited to see how much he stepped up in the last 2 years, being underneath Jordan Love and learning in a good offense and a good team in general. And I also think he gets given a bit of time because the new head coach, new GM have come in this year. They're going to be given time to rebuild. They've obviously come from the Packers as well. Willis has come across. So I think altogether, all three of them are going to get at least 2 years to sort of make something work. And I think sort of takes a little bit of pressure off him this year because obviously we've got nobody in the receiving room right now. I'm sure the draft will change that. But I'm excited to see what he can do. I don't have huge expectations year one. I just want to see some solid play. I don't want to see him give the ball away. I don't want him see him be a hero. And I want to see something that we can build on for maybe next year and the year after.
Well, that's a crazy thing with the NFL. When you hire a new coach and they get a whole new scheme, you need at least 2-3 years to do it. But some of the GMs are just not that patient to wait, and they just sack them. You could be really awful, but you know what I mean. You've got to give them a chance, especially with the amount of players who've let go to go.
You do, and I think that's more likely if you've got a GM who's been there for a long time. Because the fact that we've now brought in the GM, the head coach, and our potential franchise quarterback, or at least our starting quarterback, all in the same time frame, I'm hopeful that gives a little bit of lead time. And also the fact that we've traded away some of our better players in the last year or two shows that they are looking at rebuilding. So I think that takes pressure off. But equally, every team wants to be winning. And as a fan, I just want to see solid play and that potential of something good building.
Cool. So obviously, what's your favourite player of all time that's not been a Dolphins player? So just
okay.
You've got a favourite one. It'll not be Tom Brady, though, is it?
No, it's not Tom Brady. No, I've named a few because I felt like this question needs a couple of answers. But I'll give you my main one at the end. So some players that I loved watching, likes of Michael Vick. What a player he was to watch. How exciting, and he was just electric. Obviously, off-field stuff sort of shortened his career dramatically.
I didn't like playing against him at Madden. You couldn't stop him.
He was a cheat code on Madden, wasn't he? He was an absolute cheat code. So he was one that I loved watching. LaDainian Tomlinson, what a back! He was unbelievable to watch, and just what the figures and stats he was putting up year in year out, and just how easy he made it look he was phenomenal. The two that I probably broke it down to the most. One's Peyton Manning, what a player. I was just confirming my opinion of him when I was doing some stats on the back of this question. And he had 14 seasons of over 4,000 passing yards. The Bears haven't had one season from any quarterback. Yeah. He had 14 of them in his career. He was just a joy to watch, and he was a genuine pocket passer, and he could do everything with the ball. And I love seeing that kind of American football. I want to see the quarterbacks throw it a long way. I want to see lots of yards. I want to see really tight, accurate throws. And that's the kind of quarterback I like. I'm not. Obviously, it's nice having a mobile quarterback, and it's all the rage right now. But I think a genuine pocket passer, and you don't get more genuine than Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And
I do like the pocket passers.
Yeah, I mean, what they do, what they can do, is phenomenal. And obviously, there's the 2013 season where he threw 5,500 yards and 55 touchdowns, and I mean, incredible. And that was was it a 16-game season? So.
Yeah, it was like 16 games.
Yeah, so that shows again one less game than what they're playing now, and eclipsing some of the best quarterbacks currently by over 1,000 yards and 55 touchdowns is insane. But then my number one, and I'm going to give a Madden reference to you, and maybe you'll get it, but some of these younger people maybe wouldn't. But my number one is Randy Moss. What a player! What an absolute athlete! And I mean, over 1,000 career receptions. 15,000 yards, 150 plus touchdowns. I mean, what a career that is. And he did it from day one. His rookie season, he had over 1,300 yards.
Was it not with the Vikings where he got like 4 touchdowns and 200 odd yards in the first half or something? I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, he was incredible.
Yeah.
My little Madden stat for you, or fact for you, is he wasn't even on the Madden 99 game. He was just a number, because I think he played under number 18. I think it was, he wasn't actually a player on the game. He was just a rookie and number 18. So yeah, he was brilliant. And then obviously his season with Tom Brady in 2007, was it 20?
Oh, that was a good season. That one, 'cause obviously the Giants beat him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But at 23 touchdowns and off 98 receptions, so nearly 25% of his catches that season was for a touchdown, which is just bizarre.
He was so tall, and his reach was just crazy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he was incredible. I mean, he had some off seasons. Obviously, he went to Oakland and that failed, and his back end of his career didn't work out. But when he was in his prime, I don't think there's obviously going to be an argument. I'm not going to say he's the greatest wide receiver that's ever played the game, but he's certainly up there in the conversation.
He's certainly one of them. Just like, well, I've got a sort of Megatron.
Yeah,
he was one of the best never to win.
Yeah,
because he was with Detroit.
Megatron was like unreal, but his career seemed so short. He did cut it early for whatever reason, but like he was still at his prime when he walked away, and I think that's probably the reason why he doesn't get talked about as much as somebody like a Randy Moss, because Moss's career was quite a long career, whereas like Megatron. But again, both of them are very similar receivers. They were just immense, and on their day they could do anything and everything.
Yeah, we were talking on one of the earlier shows, and they were going on about Julio Jones.
Yeah,
and it's because obviously he was awesome, but you don't realise how big a boy he was. He was like, you weren't knocking him off the ball easy enough, like, you know.
No.
It's like you've got like a brick shit house, like.
Some of the when they talk about some of these players nowadays who are like DK Metcalf, massive, AJ Brown, massive, but I think stick him next to someone like a Randy Moss, he might have not been as bulky, but I think he was as strong.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. Back then you had to fight for the ball. You didn't get interference as much.
And defenders could do a hell of a lot more than they can now. So it was a harder game to do.
Some of the hits you got back then as well. I think that's probably what made me love the place, like watching the defenses just hammer people.
Using themselves as weapons. There's so many tackles back then when they were just like a safety would just be watching it and launch himself head first, which of course they can't do now. It's all banned. But back then they would just be eyeing up that tackle and just going head first into them.
And right, at least I love, was it Hines Ward?
Yeah,
he would always be battering defenders. He'd always have a smile on his face, whether he hit them or they hit him. But he's like big smile.
Steve Smith was similar, wasn't he? He was like a pit bull terrier, wasn't he?
He was angry though.
He was, yeah. I think he liked the contact.
He did, yeah,
more than the defenders did.
He's pretty good in the Osterio as well. That's Steve Smith.
Yeah.
So obviously we've touched this one on slightly, but what do you think your team's prospect for 2026 is going to be? What do you think your record will be? Maybe in this one I'll go back.
So the record, the prospects, like I said, I think all I want to see is, I'm not going to be daft. I'm not going to say, if everything goes right, we can get in the playoffs, because I don't think that's doable.
No.
I want to see it's going to be a young team. We'll touch on the draft in a minute, but it's going to be a young team. There's obviously going to be quite a lot of players coming in from the draft, so it takes a bit of time to gel. So I want to just see the second half of the season being a major improvement from the first half. I want to start to see these players gel. I want some games and some tight games. And if we do lose, I don't want to lose by 25, 30 points. I want to fight till the end. I want to see the team sort of show a bit of heart. And if all that can happen, then I'll be a lot more confident of making that bit of a playoff run, maybe a wild card position next year. I reckon I'd be. We were 7-10 this year. I don't quite think we'll make that. I think 5-12, 6-11, something like that. Sort of get us a top 10 pick for the next draft. Probably where we are. I don't think we'll be. I can't see us tanking and being the number one choice. I can't see that. I don't think that's what the head coach wants. I don't think that's what the new GM wants. I don't think that's what Malik Willis wants. So I think they'll be putting some heart and fight into it. So I reckon 5-6 wins might be about where we get.
Well, the previous guest was saying that Miami would be getting the number one pick.
Yeah, it all depends on how this draft goes. I think if the draft goes well, I think we'll be strong enough. But if the draft goes badly and we get it wrong, then we could quite easily be in the doldrums for a few years.
And obviously, talking about the draft, who do you think they're going to go for in the draft then? What's the first pick?
I think that, so they've got, I think 11 picks all told, and 8 of them in the first 4 rounds, 7 in the first 3. So they've got to get those first 8 picks right. They definitely need pass catchers. And obviously, there's a lot of interest and there's a lot of mock drafts going on right now that someone like Makai Lemon will end up there with the Dolphins' first pick and potentially a cornerback with the second. That's exciting. I want to see that. I play fantasy football. I want to see these good young receivers especially going to my team. But realistically, they need to keep Malik Willis upright. So making sure that the offensive line is strong, allowing Devon Achane to do what he does. And then realistically, you could probably get a pass catcher in the second round who's still decent. So that's probably the smarter move. But I mean, who doesn't want the excitement of your first pick being one of the stud wide receivers coming out of this in this draft class? So I think they need like weapons all across the board. They need at least 2 pass catchers. So whether that's a tight end and a wide receiver or 2 wide receivers, I don't know. And then they just need to make sure they're putting the support around someone like Willis, especially this year, because you don't want him. Yeah, he's going to be a confidence player, and if he's getting battered every single week, he's going to lose his confidence pretty quickly.
So I always say you've got to get the whole line first. You've got to protect them.
And if you look at Tua over the last few years, when they protected Tua, he was actually a useful quarterback, and when they didn't, he was getting knocked over left, right, and center, and running for his life. So, yeah, it's not a sexy pick, it's not exciting, but we've got to get the first round right, and we've got to get at least the first 7 picks right. And I would probably be happier if we left the pass catcher till round 2. And maybe pick up a tight end round 3 or something like that, then go in someone like Makai Lemon round 1, or even trade back from that number 11 spot.
You could do that, yeah.
Yeah, well, trade back maybe 16, 17, 18, and try and maybe get a second or third round pick as well.
Because you do get some tables at about the 15, 16 will trade up to about 11. Yeah. Just to jump ahead of somebody, so that could happen.
It also depends on who's there. If and there's a few teams who are looking at wide receiver, and if they are desperate to go and get that piece, then Miami should be looking at that. They should be certainly looking at this draft and the next draft to try and get as many earlier picks as they can and sort of do this quick rebuild, a bit like what the Bears have managed to do. Yeah,
it was a bit. I was surprised how well the Bears did last year.
Yeah, they'll do a lot better this year as well. I think Ben Johnson going there as sort of like he stepped them up a level, and I think Caleb and the guys that he's going to use, like they should take that next level up, and they should be in the playoff contention for the next 5, 6, 7 years. But it's the Bears, so who knows?
Yeah, well, they need to start the games better enough to worry about fourth quarter comeback, because it's not going to happen all the time. So obviously, Miami got picked to be the number 1 pick. Who's your pick? Who's going to be the number 1 pick next year?
Number 1 next year. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not. I mean, the Raiders will be in there. They've spent a lot of money in the off season, and maybe that's enough to sort of get them up. Kirk Cousins is a more solid quarterback than what they had, but yeah, they'll be there or thereabouts. Jets, they'll always be there. Browns, unless they get a major change of fortune, especially at the quarterback position, they'll be there. Miami will obviously be in and around there. I don't think you boys will be. I think your team's. I mean, it's one of the most exciting offenses I've seen, like coming through. So I think the Giants will be well and truly out of that top 5, top 10 sort of area.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, you should be like that. That offense, that Giants offense is scary good for a young offense.
Yeah, we still need a wide receiver, but we need more in defense, like the linebacker, safety, that sort of area, just to give us an extra. Because we've got the defensive line, we just need to get around that.
So. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could see you guys trading back from 5, to be honest, this year.
Not too late. I want to watch it.
Other teams that might be down there, like the Titans, are they going to step up dramatically? I don't know, but like there's going to be the typical 4 or 5 down there. Probably, I don't see a lot of changes next season, to be honest. Maybe the Raiders have done enough to get out of it. I don't know, but yeah,
it is the Raiders.
It is the Raiders, and they've got history for making the wrong decision.
Well, was it Jamarcus Russell was not the best there?
It was, yeah.
Perfect. So obviously, when did you first get into the fantasy football then? Same
So
time or that?
no, so it took me a little bit longer than when I first started watching to get into fantasy. I'd been a teenager at the time. I was playing on Yahoo, so it was like rolling it back a bit. And to be fair, I didn't really know a lot of what I was doing. What I did like was drafting the teams, and I did like trying to make trades. And nothing has changed. That is my favorite part of fantasy football. I just follow it a bit more. Like I did the classic thing of maybe by week 6, week 7, I just lost interest in it, and I didn't really think much of it. Whereas obviously now I'm very committed. But it was back then, yeah. I did. It was the drafting of the team and getting these, like, creating a strategy to get these certain players, and then trying to make trades were my favorite things. And so I'd have been about 15, I think, and then I stopped playing for a little while, and then maybe 12 years ago, like, a group of me and my mates got together and decided that we were going to create this a fantasy league, and that's been my longest running league. It's still going now. I'm the commissioner of the league, and we're still doing that now. It's I've tried to adapt it over the years. We're now doing an 8-player keeper league, so it's like literally a hybrid between a dynasty and a redraft. So you still get an excitement of, you can, like, if you've got a bad team, it doesn't stay a bad team forever. But you've also, if you're building something strong, you've got a core of 8 players who you keep. And yeah, that league's been going for a good 10 to 12 years now.
So, yeah, I've got our home league. I think it's going into year 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
But my oldest league is going up to 15 years, and that draft it's a linear draft. So whoever finishes last gets the first pick every round.
Yeah.
And
You
very rarely get. It's a redraft as well, so it's quite fun.
Yeah.
So you don't often get many back-to-back winners.
No, you won't do, not like that. The other thing in that league is what we're doing is we've got like a separate prize pot. So we've got the winner gets, it's a paid league, so the winner gets an amount of money, but every year we basically pay double the amount every single year. So half goes to the winning 3 teams and the other half gets put in a pot. And once you've won it 3 times total, you get the pot. So we're into and this format, we're into probably year 6 or 7, but we've obviously had previous adaptations of it. So that pot's getting bigger and bigger. And so far, there's nobody won it more than once. So there's about six or 7 of us have won it once. So you can imagine that's going to be quite a nice little pot by the end of it.
That's going to be a very good pot.
Some lucky so-and-so is going to get a holiday or something out of.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we don't do that for our home league, because I won it 2 at the first 3 years, and I've been 3 finals. But Sean won it for the 4th time this year.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he'd be very happy. But I just love fantasy football. Like a Sunday, I'll have the Red Zone on, Giants game, and another screen I'll have like maybe a game that I've got interest in the fantasy with no volume, so I'm just going like that.
I do find on a Sunday now, because fantasy's sort of taken over a bit, that I'm watching more Red Zone and following the scores on the on various different apps of the box scores and seeing who's doing what, and sort of like my emotions are going up and down depending on who's doing what rather than what my team's doing. So I do find that I'm probably, well, it's maybe because I'm a Finns fan rather than a successful team, but I'm finding myself more of a generic football NFL fan rather than specifically for my team, mainly because
I'll give it a couple of years. It'll be really exciting to watch them again, and then that'll be it.
I hope so. I hope so.
We can always hope. So, because obviously you've probably played a few teams out in the Orkney Bowl. It doesn't have to be in your division, but who would you say is your biggest rival in all of the Orkney teams?
Yeah, so because I'm new, I guess I haven't built up this true hatred to anybody yet. But I'm looking for you. I'm coming for you. But yeah, there are a few people that I know that are in there. There's like a couple of guys I've met via like Fantasy League on Sleeper that you become sort of pally with, friends with. So there's them, but there's a couple of guys in my division who I've played in leagues with. There's JJ and Ellis I'm in about 3 or 4 leagues with. So he can be my number one rival. It'd be interesting to see how we get on together against each other there. And then Woozy Park was in our extreme redraft last year, so it'd be interesting to see how that goes.
Yes.
Hopefully he can take as long drafting.
Well, he was like, I didn't want to put in the group chat, but he wasn't. It was outside fantasy problems that took so long. No, but yeah, okay. He's better now. But just back then he couldn't. No, and who else is it? Oh, JJ, that Lee.
JJ, yeah.
So
I think I'm in about 3 Dynasty leagues and maybe a Pirate League with him. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how we come come up against each other in this.
And you've got Bill Schuler, WJ Schuster. He won the Orkney Charity Bowl last year.
Oh, nice. Oh, cool.
Yeah, nice guy. So he's a new member as well, so it's quite nice. And Daniel's podcast is tomorrow, I think. So you've got. Okay. It's good to see some of the new ones joining in the podcast. It's good to
see how we can build it and see what sort of what little friendly rivalries. Maybe like a couple of us can get promoted together and then see how that goes.
Well, they're actually that thing. Lee in the Sandbag Satans, he's won his last 2 divisions and now in the first. But second to him, both those years have been Chester Hurricanes.
Oh, really?
And I think they both qualified for the first division the first year they played. So a bit of rivalry in that one. He's just following them all over the place. But it's just unfortunately he's no managed to beat him yet.
No.
And I think in the other division, Nick, who was in a couple of podcasts ago, his college friend Adam is in the same division.
Oh wow!
So like from 20 odd years ago, so they've got a bit of a rivalry in that one.
Nice. There is a lad in another league, Scott Wolf King, I think.
Oh, so yeah, he got promoted last year.
He got promoted, yeah. So I've got quite pally with him, and he did message me last year about getting into the OrkneyBowl, and my poor admin meant I didn't submit my form in time. But so he was. It'd be good if we can. I don't know if we're in the same division, but like if we can get some.
He's in the same conference. He's one division ahead of you. So you'll have to catch him. But he won the helmet last year for the division.
Right. Okay.
So obviously, division winner wins the winning helmet. So
he did say that. Yeah. So
that's behind him. So they'll buy one for this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on one of them.
So I'll probably go back to white because it goes well with the label, but a different colour face mask each year.
Yeah.
But they're nice, though. They get made in America. So. Cost more to get them posted to buy them. But they're worth it, though, Ken. So that'll be 9 I'll be buying next year.
It's really nice to get like a memento for the league. That's really nice.
It's cool. Better than the winner gets a little trophy like for the main event, not for Us lower division people. Can we just get a helmet if we win?
Do you not just get that? Like, are you not just put in the top group every year because it's your?
No. I went the same as everybody else. After the first year, I was in Division 2. I made the mistake in second year I drafted Christian McCaffrey at the 101, who didn't play all year.
Yeah.
I traded away my second and third round pick to get the 108 and pick Brees Hall. So that was my team completely screwed from the start.
Nice.
But then last year I got McCaffrey at the 106 and he basically helped me win the division. So
yeah. I mean, he was immense last year.
He was mental last year. So so I've been relegated and promoted. So I've had both. I don't like the relegation part. So I try to say the promotion part.
No.
So what's this go? How many leagues are you in then in fantasy? Not including best ball.
Not including best ball. I'm in about 20 now. Like a fair mix between Redraft and Dynasty, but it's probably leaning towards Dynasty now. I've probably got about 12, 13 Dynasty leagues. It's sort of gone up over the last few years. Much to my missus' delight, I will say. It's taken over. But I think Sleeper helps because it's such a good app to use that it helps you want to be in more leagues and it helps you like create new mates and stuff like this. It's a really good format to use, I think, for like it's like builds a community rather than just being about fantasy football. So I'm up to about 20 now.
But obviously we used to use NFL and you could only have 5 teams.
Yeah.
So you had to have I think I've got 3 NFL accounts because we used to have 15 teams.
Yeah.
NFL, which league or which other one, but all together now it's great. So.
It was good, but it had its massive limitations, and Sleeper have gone all out with it. And like the new things this year of the chop leagues and all that sort of stuff, like they're bringing more interesting things for people to have a go at, and outside of your general fantasy leagues. I might be tempted to join a couple more this year, but we'll see. I'm obviously joined your OrkneyBowl Dynasty, so I'm looking forward to that draft. I've got about 4 first rounders. So.
That's I thought I'd try one different. I'm never usually that good at Dynasty. I used to well the first year, but after that I just fell away. But I've been a few for about 5 years now, and slowly I've got a young team building back up. You just have to remember that you can't win every year, so you just
absolutely. Well, there can only be one winner, can't there?
Yeah, and obviously don't give away your first round pick for a complete numpty like I've done before. That's it. We've all done that. So, what do you? So do you got up here about? You're slightly more dynasty. Do you prefer dynasty or redraft overall?
I probably do prefer Dynasty, and I just like the idea that there's like more strategy to it. You're not looking necessarily. Obviously, your goal is to win every single season and to win the next season coming. But you can sort of build something different in Dynasty. Whereas Redraft, it's all guns blazing. You're just trying to win that. You're trying to win that season, and then if it doesn't go so well, you maybe lose a bit of interest. I don't know, like those sort of things. Whereas with Dynasty, you can pivot. If you're not having a great season, you can write, well, I'm going to look for next season and what can I do, and can I offload this player, and can I get this, can I get that? So I do prefer the strategy to it and thinking longer term. I also like the fact that you can how you can rotate your team over, because a lot of people have this thought process that you have to be in a rebuild to make your team younger and make your team more competitive. But if you do it right, you can still be competitive, and you can gradually move pieces so you can then build up you can keep a younger team coming through. So I like all that. Like Dynasty is probably my preference, but I do like the odd redraft league for a bit of fun.
Oh, I do prefer redraft, but I've got a lot of dynasties, but I do prefer redraft. Because sometimes if I'm not going to win, I just let it go and then start again in the next season when it comes to redraft. But the dynasty, but redraft, you try and get there. So, do you prefer a Superflex or one QB?
I have got a good mix of both, to be fair. Probably lean towards super draft in the leagues I'm in, but it feels like everybody's doing a super draft league now. But I probably prefer one quarterback. I think the strategy can be better or certainly different. Whereas with Superflex, you kind of you pulled into picking a quarterback early, and if you don't get one of the top 5, then you sort of you're always playing catch up. You can get some great value on players if you do choose to leave your quarterback till late, but then you obviously run the risk of having nobody at quarterback, or like you said, somebody like a Geno Smith, and you're not going to win with that. So, but I do prefer I think a Superflex league is more active. I think a lot more trades happen in a Superflex, but I probably do prefer a single quarterback league. It just happens that there's not that many about anymore.
Yeah, a lot of mine are, because I prefer.
Yeah.
I've got an echo.
You obviously created the OrkneyBowl Dynasty, which is obviously a single quarterback. And last year I created one of the leagues that you joined of mine that was a single quarterback, just because I didn't have enough single quarterback leagues in there, and I wanted to do something. I was kind of bored of drafting the same way every single time, so that's why I wanted to bring him in and have a different approach.
Oh, definitely, it's a good one. So, what player do you tend to draft the most, whether it's a good idea or a bad idea?
I've probably had some bad ideas in my time. I think the player that I've seemed to have the most at the moment is Travion Henderson. So, and that's sort of still up in the air. What is that going to be a huge success, or is he going to be a committee back for most of his career? So I think I've got him in about 4 dynasty leagues at the moment. So hopefully he comes off good. The other one is probably, I've got quite a bit of Jameson Williams as well. I've sort of picked him up when he was on his slump last year, and he obviously had a great back end of the season. So those are the 2 that I seem to have quite a lot. In a few leagues, I've also had Tua, which obviously didn't end last couple of years, hasn't been great, but obviously he might get a revival at the Falcons now.
Oh no, he's been a dome, so
yeah, and Penix isn't he's not scary to sit behind if he does start behind him. So he will get his opportunity at some point.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, those are the ones I seem to have quite a lot of now. I probably have had certain players that I've drafted a lot in the past, but these are the ones that I've got currently.
Cool. And what's the next one is? What's the worst player you've ever drafted? Probably a lot of them too.
I've blocked them all out. It's too painful. I was looking back on some startup dynasty leagues, and my main league that I was telling you about, that's about 6, 7, going into 7 or 8th year or whatever it is. I did draft at number 1, the 106 in my first round. I drafted Clyde Edwards-Hellaire. Yeah. And then I followed it up in the 3rd round with a wonderful running back by the name of Kenyon Drake. So you can imagine how that went. That was pretty. That was a pretty low moment. And I was looking at what players were around that I passed up on: Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mike Evans, all of them players I could have had, and I chose not to. Yeah, you make these mistakes.
That's a bad one. Yeah, like I said before, like when the first year of the Dynasty I set up, I think it was in 2020 or 19, and I won the Dynasty, and then I had the 12th pick, like the 1-on-1 and I traded up quite a bit to get the 101, then drafted Clyde Edwards-Hellaire.
Yeah. Well, at least I wasn't the only one.
It cost me a lot.
Because he had, but like, I mean, he was all hype. He had people people didn't actually like him coming out of college, didn't rate him, but he went to the Chiefs. Everybody knew the Chiefs needed a running back. It was all set up to be perfect, and I think he was he played second fiddle behind. Who was the running back at the Chiefs back then? It was Damian Williams. It'd have been second fiddle behind likes of him, and yeah, that just didn't go to plan. And,
there are two Williams, isn't there? There Damian Williams and another D. Williams.
Darnell.
It was really confusing. Two different Williams and both up.
Yeah. But yeah, so he was. I don't think we were the only two who got stung by Clyde. I think there was a few of us who got that. But yeah, that was looking back, it's surprising that I've ever been competitive in that league. If that was my start.
Well, I'm in a couple of Jack's leagues, and he does some of his leagues. He does the draft before the draft.
Yes.
So on my Dynasty team, I think I came third last year or something like that, but I only had one tight end, Ferguson. So I traded up because I had lots of picks. I traded up a first this year and maybe a first next year, but I still got two next year to get Sadiq at the 102. Because I needed another tight end because I didn't have anybody else. So it's like, I'll go for it.
How he does. It'd be interesting to see how Sadiq does.
But he's such a good athlete, so hopefully it bodes well. Just depends where he goes as well.
Yeah, he needs a good landing spot, and he needs to be made the man. But I don't. Yeah, I mean, you can I don't watch a lot of college football, so I'm like, I get into looking at the names when it comes to probably a month and a half, 2 months before the draft. So I don't know I've not seen any of his tape really, but the production that he did in college wasn't amazing. So will that translate into the NFL? I don't know. There's obviously
like another Kyle Pitts.
Well, exactly. And Kyle Pitts, I mean, he's failed more often than he's succeeded, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, they good rookie season, but apart from that, yeah, the odd game, which is a bit of a shame because like he was good in the rookie season. He had I think it was one of the playoff games last year. He had 50 points and OrkneyBowl scoring.
Well, yeah, so like Kyle Pitts finished the tight end 2 last year, but if it wasn't for that one game, he'd have been something like the tight end 8. So like that one game, makes up such a difference at the tight end position.
So do you do anything to do with fantasy football, like podcasts or writing?
Yeah, so I've literally just started. So I've just started working for the guys at the AAW network, and specifically on their Fantasy Den podcast. So we're looking to give that a bit of a like bring it back to life this season. So there's me and another couple of lads who have just joined them. So we've done a couple of podcasts. So and it's gone well. I've really enjoyed it. It's been fun. It's just sitting in a room basically and chatting to your mates about something you love. So what can go wrong?
Is that Gary and Sam?
No, it's with Sam and a lad called Kean at the moment, and Fletcher's stepped in a few times. I've been there and thereabouts. So yeah, do get yourself over to YouTube and do give it a watch and a like and subscribe.
Well, you can if you send me the link, I'll stick it to the post when.
I will do. I will do, mate. Thank you.
I've got to push it everywhere we can. So
yeah, no, absolutely.
There's a lot of them going about. So
I've wanted to do like podcasts for a little while, but it's just sort of trying to dip your toe in and not feeling like, I don't know, imposter syndrome or whatever. But like I got this opportunity and I've really, really enjoyed it so far, and I'm really enjoying the researching for it. So I'm hopefully going to do a few articles about fantasy football this year as well.
So you can send me that when you do them, so I can have a read.
Yeah, I will do.
I do like reading about all that stuff. So.
Yeah, after we draft, I'll get my secrets.
The thing is, I never have a strategy when it comes to drafting. Because you can have you can prepare as much as you want, and 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to fucking snipe you.
Yeah, I know.
Or the 2 picks before, like I'm on a draft now for a festival, I had 3 in my queue, and all 3 went before my next pick.
You can guarantee that if you didn't have them in the queue, they'd just sit there. They guarantee as soon as you're like, oh, like I'll do it, and I'll be like 4 picks out, and be like, oh, okay, I like these 3 or 4 players for my next pick, and they'll all go one by one. I'm like, what?
And they all go. You're sitting at 8th, and you all go in the turn. Like,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like, oh, you do look at it and go, this guy's got 2 free running backs. He's not going to take another running back, and then running back goes. You're like, come on, guys.
Well, because I'm doing the best one now, and I got McCaffrey at the 108. I thought, I think we're in round 12 or whatever, but I'll pick up James as a handcuff, and I had a couple of tight ends in the queue I'll get one of them the next time round, and on the turn, the 2 tight ends went. I was like, I should have just taken one of them. I was just like, ah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I've got a league that's like it's quite a competitive league, but it's with people. It's like a very mixed bunch of people who are into. Some are not really into American football, and some are massively into it. So it's a really good balance. But when you draft there, you could, like you said, you can do all the prep. You can do mock draft after mock draft. You can think about this way and going that way, and then I'll sit there after 2 rounds going, what is going on? What's happening? Like, it just feels like there's no rhyme or reason. Or you'll have somebody who's well down the list of ADP, and you're like, right, I'll pick him up maybe next round or something. And then like they'll just go in such random places. I'm like, you cannot predict it, and it makes it more fun.
As well, the first year we went up to 16 teams. It would have been about 11 years ago, 12 years ago. I had Ray from the pub for the hotel I worked. Didn't really know American football, so I'll join. It was a £20 league or 25. I'll join. And his first draft, he was at the 106, I think it was. And he chose Andy Dalton. And everybody was like, what the fuck? It just threw everybody off. They're like, what's going on?
People start second guessing, thinking, does this guy know something we don't know?
I know, it's just like, I think he wasn't even good at that point. It was just like, I don't know why he picked him, but yeah. But then he did manage to pick up McCaffrey as well, and he's kept him ever since. I'm
excited to see how many mistakes people get by drafting Brian Robinson instead of Bijan Robinson.
I know, they might have to have a Robinson watch.
Yeah, I know. Just pushing people in, or trades where B Robinson for such and such. Yes, I'll do that. You're like,
that'd be a good idea. Pick up Brian and try and stay there for the other one.
I should have a look and see if I've got Brian Robinson anywhere, but unfortunately I don't.
No. It was a bit of a mix at Washington, the Commandos, because obviously when he was here he was good, but he wasn't always playing, and it was just they're back to the mess.
I thought he looked good in Daniel's first year, but obviously I don't know whether he wanted too much money or what the situation was. I thought he looked a solid back, and he's kind of just drifted into this backup role, which is probably better than, but he never got a lot of chance of the 49ers last year.
No. But when he did come on, though, like the few times he did well running. So
yeah, he's good. He's a good player. I think he'll do well there. Like if he plays the Algier role there, I think he'll do really well. But yeah,
the touchdowns.
Yeah, take them from Bijan.
Everybody's like, yes, Algier's gone. We've got the touchdown.
I know, yeah.
Ryan Robinson. Fuck. You're brilliant.
Yeah.
So what? I forgot to turn off noise. Echo cancel in my end. I can hear it twice. What sort of thing can you hear? What do you do outside of fantasy football then?
Yeah, I play a bit of cricket. I played cricket for a lot of years. I've just getting back into it this year. But I'm just like I'm not going to be playing at a good standard. Well, a competitive standard. I just want to play to have a laugh now. I've played a lot of years playing cricket. Yeah, going to a lot of music gigs in and around York. Do that quite regular. And then just spending time with the missus and the dog. So, yeah.
Just what kind of dog you got?
We've got a Staffy Mastiff Cross.
Nice.
He's a bruiser. He's a big lad. But, yeah, he's absolutely wonderful. So, yeah, just doing that, really. Like, just outside of work, just trying to make sure I'm like, chilling out, getting enough time, spending enough time with the family, that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Until a Sunday. See you later.
Yeah, until it's Sunday evening, and then it'll be cricket through the day on Sundays. Although the cricket season will be finished, but yeah, it'll be NFL come 6 o'clock.
Well, that thing, I work a Sunday. That's just why I like doing the auto pick. Again, if I have it set up, so sometimes I'm not home till the back of 6. The games are kicked off.
Yeah, yeah.
But usually on a Sunday morning, I'm like before I go, I'm like going through my teams, making sure everything's because I'm not going to be home for like 7 or 8 hours. Like so, a lot can change between that time. So obviously, you know this. What's that?
The auto subs become your friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tend not to go in a league that's not got it now because it's such a good app to have. And as long as you do it that you can't play them anytime, they've kind of got to play it after you do it.
Yeah.
When it comes to Monday Night Football, that's tough. You can pick somebody up and go with it. But I think Jack's got something where you can do it anytime. It's not quite the same.
No.
But if you do it, like I say, you've got somebody playing Thursday Night Football, you don't want to stay up, but you can have a knock the sub in for that sort of thing. So
yeah, I mean, I think it was the final this year. I was in one of the finals in a paid league, and I was umming and ahhing about playing Jake Tonjes from the 49ers. And it was, and I think they were like a Thursday night game, and it was Kittle was going to play, and then Kittle might not play, and then I was like, I can't stay up for this. So I didn't play him in the end. I played Darren Waller, and he put up about 25 points. Thankfully I won, but if I'd have lost on that, I'd have been fuming.
I know. Because it was quite a late call out for Kittle as well, if I remember rightly. But
it was a really late call because I stayed up till about I don't know 11:30 midnight, and it still said Kittle's gearing up to play. So I was like, okay, well I can't run the risk. If Kittle plays, he gets most of the stats. I can't run that risk, and then it turned out that he didn't play, and Tonjes had a great game.
Yeah, the 49ers are quite bad for that.
Yeah,
not letting you know.
No, it didn't help me, but I did win, so it's okay.
Oh, that's okay then. It's worse if you lost. So, what sort of question would you like to ask the next person that's appearing on the show?
Okay, so I was trying to figure out what to ask. I don't know enough about the OrkneyBowl to ask that, so I was going to stay away from that. So my question is, other than winning, because obviously that's everyone's favourite thing, what's your favourite part about fantasy football and why? So like I'm thinking about like is it community? Is it getting some new friends? Is it that sort of like building up some new mates and that sort of stuff, or is it the trading, or I don't know, destroying the other teams? I don't know. So like finding that out would be good. So yeah, what's the favourite thing about fantasy football apart from winning?
That'd be quite a good one. I think the boy that's on next has only had a couple of years, so
okay,
an interest, but a new perspective to that would be quite good. So some of the older ones would be about destroying other teams more than anything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play Murph's question for you because it's quite a long one, and you've heard it. So
yeah.
So the next question I'd like to ask is, do you have any fantasy draft day rituals? So I want to know, like, if you're doing like a live draft and you host it, what do you do? Do you roll out the red carpet? Do you have any traditions? Do you have an outfit that you wear? Or in your big home league draft, if you have one, what do you do to rile people up? Like, I want to know, like, everything about people's home league or league of record or whatever is like important. So draft rituals, draft wind-ups, what are some stories that people have done? Whoever's answering this question, like for me, I think those are really cool things. So like trophies or whatever, just anything about your league of record that makes it special, that you participate in and make it
hell of a question.
Make it feel
special.
That's
a hell of a question.
I would love to be able to do a live draft day. I've never been able to, mainly because people have kids and all that, and I'm no longer in Cumbria anymore, so like I'm not close to my mates that I'm in certain leagues with them, this, that, and the other. So we haven't been able to do that. One day I want to do that. One day I want to do a draft. I want to everyone meet somewhere central. We'll go to a bar. We'll hire out a seating area, and we'll just do our draft live. So I haven't unfortunately, I've never been able to do that. But I have one little thing that I do every year in one of my first leagues and in a league I'm the commissioner of, to pick the draft order. I don't like the reverse order from the last season, especially in redraft, because that's irrelevant. It doesn't hold any bearings. So what I do is every time it's a Silverstone Grand Prix, I pick the middle drivers. So there's 10 people in our leagues. I pick the drivers from 6 to 15 in the rankings, put them in a hat, put our names in a hat, and I draw it out. And your draft pick is selected by where that driver positions in order. So if the higher up your driver gets you the first pick, and if your driver goes out early or finishes last, you end up with the last pick, and it's everywhere in between. Because what I wanted to do was, I think one of the things I've tried to do in that league, especially, is to try and get people thinking about it a little bit earlier, because you get this big gap between seasons. So I thought, well, let's pick something that people even if they're not interested in F1, for example, I know that people aren't, but they'll know the Silverstone Grand Prix is on, so they'll be able to then, it'll start to engage people, it starts to get people talking about it, and then ultimately after that you get to know where you're drafting from, so then you can start preparing for it in that way. So I do that every year. I've done it for like the last 3 or 4 years. I film it as well and then send it into the group chat, so it sort of like builds up a little bit of suspense. I sometimes try and get a fellow league mate to come and film it with me and have a bit of a laugh. So we'll just try and do that and that sort of thing. So that's about the only thing I've got where I try and do something a little bit different, just to try and get the league, keep the league exciting.
Well, that's good enough. Like I'll say, for our home league, we tend to do the live draft on YouTube. Obviously, I live in Orkney, they live down south and stuff like that. But that's quite good. But I always wear my black fantasy commissioner T-shirt when we're drafting. That one's ready for draft day.
Right.
Like I said to Martin, before normal, like the main draft, I do watch draft day. I can't help it. I just do.
I must admit, I do watch draft day at least once a year, and it's usually around about this time. I'm probably due to watch it I either watch it before our draft or just before the fantasy, the NFL draft.
Yeah. I'll probably do both actually. If I'm home in time for work, I might watch it as well. Like, it's an enjoyable film, you know what I mean? But that's just probably one of my rituals. That one is.
I don't think I've not done it every year, but I have done it the last few years to watch it, just to get yourself fired up for it. But this year, I do want to do a live draft. I'd love that idea of sitting in a room and doing it like all together and having like 3 or 4 minutes maybe to make your pick, so you can sort of like take somebody to the back room and try and do some trade negotiations, that kind of thing. I just feel like that would be quite good fun. But getting 10 to 12 people in a room together is quite difficult these days.
It is quite hard. Like Danny's, he's hosting the Scottish Bowl in Dublin this year with a live draft. And I think there's one in London too, but it's too far to go. Like for me, it's just not a chance. But it'd be fun. Like there is a few people in Orkney. Like one person is in Division 1. Alan, he did really well the first year, and then he saw me and he lost the game. So he saw me in Tesco, so he hid from me for the rest of the year. I was his bad luck charm. I was like, oh, sorry, Alan. Whereas last year he did crap, so you can't blame me for that one.
Yeah, I can't for that one.
But he is a Raiders fan, so you got to expect these things.
We make bad decisions. I can't talk.
But you were better than them last year, so you never know. Not by much, but you were better than them last year. But anyway, thank you for coming on. It's been great to chat to you, and good to finally meet you.
Yeah, thanks for your time, mate. I really appreciate it.
So obviously these will be coming out at some point. I'm trying to spread them out a bit. I think I've done 8. I think 4 are out in the next couple of weeks. But when the drafts happen, we do like a draft recap. We'll go like after week 1. We'll have a look and see how the drafts are going and all that. Yeah. And Craig can slag off some dafty for picking like a quarterback in the first round or a defender in the 4th round, because it always happens.
Yeah, it wouldn't be me.
And obviously we get the weekly show as well, so hopefully manage to enjoy some of that. But
I'll tune in this, keep following it this year.
And if you know anybody else that wants to join the waiting list, because I'm always looking for people, like even if it's starting from next year, I did put the form in the group chat and just get them to fill it in, because if any of these 2 people that haven't paid decide they don't want to play, then I'm going to need replacement. So it might be this year, might be next year. The more names, the better. So
there's definitely a couple of people I can recommend. Like I would recommend it to. So I'll reach out to them in case anybody drops out.
But like say, even if they join the waiting list, it might be next year. But there's always somebody drops out each year.
Yeah.
There's always 1 or 2 at least drop out. So it'd be good to have people on the standby ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grand.
I'll send it out to a few people.
Awesome. So good luck this season anyway.
Thank you very much, mate.
And I hope you win the helmet.